Welcome to Gentle Motion Sleep. This is a safe space for rest, for calm, and for deep, peaceful sleep. If these stories help you relax, you can gently tap the like button and subscribe to Gentle Motion Sleep so you can return here whenever you need rest. Now, find a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Take a slow, deep breath in. And let it go. Tonight's story is inspired by the era of World War II, but it is a completely fictional story, created only for relaxation and sleep. You are safe. Nothing is required from you. Just listen and slowly drift away. It was a cold, quiet night. Somewhere far from home, rain fell steadily onto the earth. Soft at first, 10 constant. The ground was wet. The air was heavy, and the wind moved slowly across the open land. A young soldier named Elias sat quietly inside a narrow trench, wrapped in a worn coat, listening to the rain. There was no battle tonight, only waiting. Waiting had become a skill, a silent routine, shared by everyone around him, the sound of rain, soft as thoughts. And for a moment, the war felt distant. Elias reached into his pocket and held a small folded letter. He did not read it tonight. He already knew every word. It reminded him of warm mornings, simple meals, and quiet laughter. Here, there was only darkness and the steady rhythm of rain. He focused on his breathing. Slow breath in, slow breath out. Each breath loosened the weight in his chest. The night remained calm. No alarms, no shouting. No sudden movement, just rain and distant wind. Elias rested his helmet beside him and leaned gently against the trench wall. His eyes grew heavy, but his body stayed alert, as soldiers often do. Still, the steady sounds around him began to quiet his mind. The rain became a lullaby, soft, endless, comforting. Above the clouds, the stars were hidden, but Elias knew they were there. That thought alone brought comfort. He believed that every long night eventually ends, and every storm slowly passes. War tries to take many things, but quiet hope often survives. And tonight, hope felt stronger than fear. Time moved differently now. The sound of rain blended with his breathing, creating a gentle rhythm. Nothing else mattered. No past, no future. Only this calm moment. His thoughts softened, then faded. The rain began to slow. Whose slightly, the wind felt warmer now, less short. Elias closed his eyes and allowed rest to come. For this moment, that was enough. And so, another night quietly passed. The rain continues to fall. The wind continues to move. You are a calm. You are a safe. And sleep can come naturally. The night continued to move slowly, as if time itself had decided to rest. Elias remained still, listening. The soft dripping of rain from the edges of the trench, the distant wind brushing across empty land. Each sound arrived gently and left without hurry. His breathing became deeper now, longer, smoother with every breath out. His body released more tension. His hands felt warm, his shoulders relaxed. The world had grown smaller, simpler, just sound and stillness. Elias did not dream of places or faces. Instead, he drifted into a space without images, a place made only of calm, no sharp edges, no loud thoughts, just a floating feeling like being gently carried by water. The rain outside blended into his thoughts, becoming part of the dream itself. Nothing to hold, nothing to solve, only rest. Somewhere far away, the sounds of conflict faded even more, as if the world had agreed to pause. The land rested, the sky rested, and within the trench, Elias rested too. Even the weight of responsibility felt lighter now. For this moment, there was no past duty, no future worry. Only this quiet pause in time. A gentle wind passed through the open land. It carried the scent of wet earth. Cool, clean. Elias breathed it in slowly. In and out. The wind moved freely, without resistance, and his thoughts learned to do the same. Letting go, drifting, softening. Though the night was still deep, morning was quietly on its way, not rushing, not announcing itself, just approaching. Patiently. Elias did not need to see it too, Belive, somewhere beyond the clouds. Light was waiting, and that was enough. His body now felt heavy, comfortably heavy. The ground beneath him felt steady, supportive. Every muscle relaxed. One by one, the rain returned to a soft rhythm. Steady, predictable, a perfect sound for sleep. And so, the story gently fades away. No ending is needed. No conclusion, only the rain, the wind, and your calm breathing. You are safe. You are resting. And sleep can deepen naturally. Let the sounds continue. For as long as you need. The night had reached its deepest point. The hour when the world feels completely still. Even the rain seemed softer now, falling more slowly, more gently. Elias barely noticed the passing of time. His body resting, his mind floating. Each breath moved naturally, without effort. The darkness no longer felt heavy. It felt protective, like a quiet blanket around him. Nothing needed to be done. Nothing needed to be decided. Just rest. Thoughts appeared, then quietly faded. A warm light, the sound of distant waves. A feeling of safety. No sharp images, no strong emotions. Only gentle impressions, passing like clouds. The rain outside continued its steady pattern, helping his mind stay calm. The world felt far away now, and that felt peaceful. The ground beneath Elias felt alive, slowly warming, slowly cooling, as if the earth itself was breathing. In and out. He matched his breath to it, without thinking. The wind moved across the land, carrying calm with it. Everything worked together. Naturally, quietly, far beyond the thick clouds. A gentle glow began to form, not yet visible, but present. Elias felt it without seeing it, a promise of softness, of warmth, of rest. He allowed himself to drift even deeper. The night was doing its work. Now there was no effort at all. No holding on. No waiting. His body felt heavy, comfortably grounded. His thoughts slowed. 10 softened, then disappeared. Only sound remained. Rain, wind, breathing. Perfectly balanced. This was the kind of sleep without dreams. Deep, quiet, restorative. Time no longer mattered. The outside world could wait. For now, rest was enough, and the story gently dissolves into silence. No ending, no beginning, only calm sounds continuing. You are safe. You are deeply relaxed, and sleep flows naturally. Let the rain and wind remain, guiding you through the rest of the night. The night settled gently over the quiet land, wrapping everything in deep stillness. Rain fell slowly, each drop landing softly on the earth, creating a steady rhythm that felt almost comforting. Elias sat low inside the trench, his back resting against cool soil, his breath calm and unhurt. The war had taught him many things, but tonight it reminded him of silence. There were no sudden sounds, no urgent voices, only the natural movement of wind and rain. The sky above was hidden behind thick clouds, holding the stars away. Yet Elias felt no fear in the darkness. Instead, it felt protective, as if the night itself was keeping watch. He listened closely, allowing the gentle sounds to fill his awareness. With every slow breath, his shoulders softened. His hands rested loosely at his sides. Nothing demanded attention. Nothing needed to be fixed. This moment belonged entirely to rest, and Elias allowed himself to remain within it. Waden had become a familiar companion to Elias, quieter than fear and steadier than hope. During long nights like this, time stretched and loosened its grip. Minutes blended together, forming a peaceful flow instead of sharp divisions. Rain traced invisible paths down the trench walls, darkening the soil and releasing the scent of wet earth. Elias found comfort in that smell, grounding him in the present moment. He no longer counted hours or imagined tomorrow. His world had narrowed gently to what existed right now. Breath, sound, stillness. Somewhere far away, the conflict continued, but here it felt distant, softened by the night. He rested his head slightly, feeling the steady support of the ground beneath him. The earth felt solid and patient, as if it had seen countless nights like this before. Elias trusted that steadiness. He trusted the rhythm of the rain. Slowly, without effort, his thoughts began to drift, becoming quieter with each passing breath. A light wind moved across the open land, whispering through unseen grass and carrying cool air into the trench. Elias inhaled slowly, feeling the gentle chill pass through him, refreshing rather than harsh. The wind did not rush. It moved at its own pace, unbothered by human concerns. He allowed his breathing to match that pace, long and even. In moments like this, the world felt larger than the war, older than any conflict. Elias imagined the land long before footsteps and trenches, resting under rain just like this. That thought brought a sense of peace. His body relaxed further, muscles releasing tension they had been holding for too long. The sounds around him blended into a soft, continuous hum, neither loud nor quiet, simply present. He no longer felt the urge to move, Stillness felt natural now. The night seemed endless, but not heavy. It felt gently, inviting him to let go completely. Memories drifted through Elias's mind without shape or weight. They did not arrive sharply, and they did not demand attention. Instead, they passed like faint echoes, warm light through a window, a calm voice, the feeling of safety. He did not chase these thoughts, nor did he push them away. He simply allowed them to move through him. The rain continued its steady pattern, a reminder that the world was functioning exactly as it should. Nothing was out of place. Elias felt suspended between waking and sleep, a quiet space where time lost meaning. His eyelids felt heavy, but there was no urgency to close them. Rest was already happening, spreading slowly through his body. The distant sounds of the night faded further into the background, leaving only the closest sensations: breath, ground, gentle air. In T-space, Elias felt untouched by fear. The night asked nothing of him, and he offered nothing in return. As the hours moved on, the rain softened even more, falling in slower intervals. Each drop landed with purpose, then disappeared into the earth. Elias noticed how his body responded, sinking deeper into relaxation. His heartbeat slowed, steady and calm. The weight of his body felt evenly supported, as if the ground had adjusted itself just for him. He no longer thought about where he was or why. Those ideas had gently dissolved. There was only sensation without meaning, experience without judgment. The darkness around him felt warm now, no longer cold or uncertain. It held him quietly, like a protective space between dreams. Elias's breathing became automatic, smooth and effortless. Each breath carried him further away from tension. The night felt vast and endless, but not overwhelming. It was simply there, allowing rest to unfold naturally. He allowed himself to drift deeper, trusting that stillness was enough. Somewhere beyond the clouds, unseen and silent, the world continued to turn. Elias did not need to see it to know it was there. That knowledge brought comfort. He imagined the sky slowly changing, even though darkness remained. The idea of movement without urgency felt soothing. The wind brushed lightly across the trench again, carrying with it a sense of quiet continuity. Nothing began. Nothing ended. The moment remained whole. Elias felt as though he was floating gently between earth and air, supported by both. His thoughts slowed to almost nothing, reduced to soft awareness. The rain's rhythm guided him further inward, creating a gentle pathway toward rest. His body no longer felt heavy or light. It simply existed. There was no tension left to release. The night had done its work patiently. Elias rested fully within it, allowing the calm to deepen naturally, without effort or intention. The silence grew richer as the night progressed, filled not with absence, but with quiet presence. Elias became aware of the subtle sounds beneath the rain, the distant rustle of wind, the soft settling of earth. These sounds blended into a peaceful background, steady and reassuring. He felt completely supported by the moment. There was no sense of isolation, only gentle solitude. The world felt far away, yet deeply connected. Elias's awareness softened further, drifting like a slow current. His breathing remained steady, carrying calm throughout his body. Each exhale released him deeper into rest. Thoughts no longer formed clearly. They appeared briefly, then faded before becoming words. The night wrapped around him fully now, holding him in a space free of urgency. Nothing required action. Nothing needed resolution. This quiet pause felt timeless, as though it could last forever. Elias allowed himself to remain there, suspended in deep calm. In this quiet space, Elias felt a gentle sense of trust settle within him. Trust in the night, trust in the earth beneath him, trust in the steady rhythm of nature, continuing uninterrupted. The rain had become lighter now, more spaced, yet its presence remained constant. Each sound felt deliberate, part of a larger balance. Elias's body responded by relaxing even more deeply, sinking into the ground with ease. His muscles rested fully, no longer holding any resistance. The air around him felt smooth and even. There was no sharpness left in the moment. He existed comfortably between awareness and sleep, where time dissolves into softness. The war felt distant, almost unreal, as though it belonged to another world entirely. Here, in this quiet pocket of night, only rest existed. Elias allowed that rest to carry him, gently and completely. The deepest part of the night arrived without announcement. Darkness remained complete, yet it felt lighter somehow. Elias sensed a subtle shift, as if the world had exhaled. His breathing matched that movement, slow and natural. There was no effort left in him, no tension waiting to return. The ground felt warm now, holding his weight with quiet patience. Rain whispered softly, no longer steady, but still present enough to guide his thoughts inward. Elias no longer noticed individual sounds. They had blended into a single, continuous calm. His awareness narrowed further, focusing only on the sensation of rest spreading gently through him. There were no images, no memories, no worries, just a peaceful emptiness that felt safe and complete. The night held him without expectation. In this stillness, Elias rested deeply, untouched by time, floating quietly towards sleep. As rest deepened, Elias's mind became quiet and open. There were no edges to his thoughts, no clear beginnings or endings. Everything flowed smoothly, like water moving without resistance. The rain continued its soft pattern, now barely more than a whisper. The wind moved slowly, brushing past without disturbance. Elias felt completely grounded, connected gently to the earth beneath him. His body no longer signaled fatigue. It had moved beyond it into pure rest. There was no sense of waiting anymore. The night simply existed, and he existed within it. The calm felt endless and stable, like a deep ocean beneath gentle waves. Elias's awareness softened further, drifting naturally toward deeper sleep. There was no need to guide it. The night had already done that work. Everything felt balanced, quiet, and safe. Somewhere beyond awareness, time continued to pass, but Elias no longer noticed it. His breathing remained slow and steady, guiding him deeper into rest. The rain had nearly stopped now, leaving behind a soft, damp silence. The air felt clean and calm, free of sharpness. Elias's body felt heavy in the most comforting way, supported fully by the ground. There were no thoughts left to follow, no sensations demanding attention. The night had become a gentle, endless space, holding him securely. In this space, there was no war, no fear, no future to consider. Only rest remained. Elias drifted further inward, allowing sleep to take over completely. The transition was smooth and unmarked, like slipping quietly beneath calm water. Nothing interrupted this descent. The world remained still, patient, and quiet. Deep sleep settled over Elias, calm and uninterrupted. There were no dreams to distract him, no sudden movements to pull him back. His body rested fully, restoring itself naturally. The sounds of the night continued softly, maintaining their gentle rhythm without demanding attention. The world felt distant and unimportant. Everything that mattered existed within this moment of rest. Elias remained still, breathing evenly, supported by earth and silence. The night stretched on, calm and unchanging. There was no need for awareness now. Sleep held him completely, steady and deep. The quiet continued without interruption, allowing rest to remain undisturbed. Nothing asked for more. Nothing needed to change. The night simply continued, carrying Elias gently through its darkest, most peaceful hours. The story slowly dissolves into quiet sound. Words are no longer needed. Only the gentle presence of night remains. The rain has faded, leaving soft air and deep stillness. You are safe here. Calm surrounds you. Breathing is slow and natural. Rest continues without effort. The night remains patient and steady, holding everything gently in place. Sleep deepens naturally, guided only by sound and silence. Nothing more is required. The moment continues, peaceful and complete. The night did not hurry forward. It remained wide and open, allowing silence to stretch comfortably in every direction. Elias rested deeply now, his body fully supported by the earth beneath him. Even without opening his eyes, he sensed the space around him, calm and undisturbed. The air felt balanced, neither cold nor warm, moving only when it needed to. His breathing flowed naturally, smooth and slow, as if guided by the quiet rhythm of the land itself. There was no effort in rest anymore. The tension that once lived in his muscles had completely dissolved. The sounds of the night blended into a soft background hum, steady and reassuring. Nothing stood out, and nothing needed to. Elias remained suspended in this calm, aware but untouched, resting in a moment that asked nothing and offered peace in return. Somewhere far beyond the trench, the rain returned briefly, light and scattered, touching the ground with gentle intention. Each drop felt like a reminder that the world continued its natural rhythm, unaffected by human worries. Elias did not react to the sound. It simply became part of the calm surrounding him. His mind stayed open and quiet, no longer forming clear thoughts. Instead, awareness softened into a smooth, continuous presence. The night felt deep and endless, yet welcoming. Darkness no longer carried uncertainty. It felt familiar, like a space meant for rest. Ilias's body responded instinctively, sinking further into comfort. His shoulders relaxed completely, his hands resting loosely, without tension. Everything felt settled, aligned, and still. The rain faded again, leaving behind a clean silence that wrapped gently around him. A slow wind passed across the land, barely strong enough to stir the air. It moved with patience, brushing softly against the edges of the trench. Elias breathed it in, though he barely noticed doing so. His breath and the wind seemed to share the same pace, unhurried and steady. The connection felt natural, effortless. In this quiet exchange, the world felt calm and complete. There were no sharp sounds, no sudden changes. Everything unfolded gradually, without urgency. Elias felt deeply grounded, as though the earth itself was holding him securely in place. His awareness drifted gently, no longer anchored to any single sensation. Rest moved through him in waves, smooth and continuous. The night remained still and generous, allowing calm to deepen naturally. Time no longer felt like a straight line. It curved softly, looping back into itself, losing all sense of direction. Elias existed comfortably within that space, neither waiting nor remembering. The idea of before and after had faded completely. Only the present remained, wide and quiet. The sounds of the night blended together into a soft, continuous tone, like distant breath. Ilias's body felt heavy, but not weighed down. It was a comforting heaviness, grounding and safe. His heartbeat remained slow and even, steady without effort. There was nothing to interrupt this calm, The night did not demand attention, and Elias offered none. He simply remained, resting deeply within the stillness, supported by darkness and silence alike. As the night continued, the air grew even calmer, as if settling into itself. Elias sensed this shift without opening his eyes. It felt like a gentle pause, a moment where everything aligned perfectly. His breathing slowed further, long and smooth, carrying calm through his body. There were no thoughts left to follow, no images forming behind his closed eyes. Awareness had softened into something quiet and open. The ground beneath him felt warm now, steady and unmoving. Elias trusted that steadiness completely. The outside world felt distant, almost unreal, like something remembered rather than experienced. Here, only rest existed. The night held him securely, allowing sleep to deepen without interruption. The faint sound of water moving through soil could be heard beneath the silence, subtle and reassuring. Elias did not focus on it, yet it guided his awareness gently inward. Every sound felt placed perfectly, arriving and leaving without disturbance. His body remained still, fully relaxed, as though it had forgotten how to tense. The calm felt layered, deepening with each passing moment. There was no sense of loneliness here, only peaceful solitude. Elias felt connected to the quiet around him, part of the same rhythm. The night did not feel empty. It felt full of rest. His awareness drifted further, moving slowly toward a deeper, more complete sleep. The wind returned once more, barely noticeable, carrying with it the cool scent of damp earth. Elias breathed hissily, his chest rising and falling in a slow, steady pattern. There was no effort in breathing now. It happened on its own. The world felt balanced and gentle. No sound interrupted the calm. No movement demanded attention. Elias felt fully at ease, settled deeply into rest. His mind remained quiet, open, and unburdened. The night stretched endlessly around him, offering nothing but peace. He remained suspended in this calm space, drifting naturally toward deeper sleep. Awareness faded gradually, like light dimming at the end of a long day. Elias no longer noticed individual sensations. Everything blended into a single, soft experience of rest. The night felt thick with quiet, yet never heavy. It held him gently, without pressure. His body rested fully now, muscles completely relaxed, breath slow and even. There were no dreams forming, no thoughts pulling him back. Sleep arrived smoothly, without transition. The world continued quietly around him. Undisturbed, Elias remained still, supported entirely by the calm of the night. Deep sleep settled in fully, steady and uninterrupted. Elias remained motionless, breathing softly, his body restoring itself naturally. The sounds of the night continued faintly, maintaining their gentle presence without reaching awareness. Time moved forward unnoticed. Nothing changed, and nothing needed to. The night remained patient and calm, holding everything in place. Elias slept deeply, untouched by worry or thought. The world felt far away, unimportant. Rest filled every part of him, complete and effortless. Words slowly dissolve into silence. Only the soft presence of night remains. The air is calm. The world is still. Breathing continues naturally. Rest deepens without effort. Nothing more is needed. The night holds everything gently, steady and quiet, as sleep continues peacefully.